Hey, it is MET Scott. It's the daily read for the 15th. And so we still have this Saturn energy. High frequency is the 11 and 2. And then the middle frequency is the sun. And then you have Pluto. And then the overall energy today is Venus. So I'm going to just throw down Oracle card. Now, when we talk about Venus, you're talking about the house of Libra. Ooh. Okay. And the house of Taurus, you talk about relationships, partnerships, marriage, sometimes enemies, right? Balancing dualities, that kind of thing. And then when you're talking about the house of Taurus, you talk about finances, money, and possessions. So that excuse me, and values. So that may be a little conversation over there. Okay, but it's saying that Aries needs to stay in the 11 and 2 today in this high frequency. Follow your intuition, tap in. And this could also just be a discussion of Aries that got a nice bit of Venus. Okay, the oracle's a gift, right? Now, all Aries may not interact with dealing with oracles and readings and things of that nature, but it's still there. And when you're dealing with the oracle, it's still a requirement of tapping in to a higher frequency. Going to an elder, going to your church, going to your mosque, going to your elay, going to your little spiritual ciphers and circles with your elders here, right? So, let me see what's going on with Saturn today. Alright. What is Saturn talking about outside of his general house of Capricorn, right? The 10th house. And, Aries. Do you do good with... yeah. Aries kind of does good with the Capricorn house, okay? So, let's see what else Aries should be looking at when you talk about building stability and foundation and structure, right? Because that comes with Saturn outside of what's on the wheel. The water signs. Water and earth goes together great, right? So when you're dealing with the water signs, this is the element. You're dealing with the houses of Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. All right? Outside of that, Aries may be interacting with some Cancers, Pisces, and Scorpio, but are you pouring water into your foundation to flourish, right? Not only in your public reputation and business and things of that nature, but whatever you're trying to build. And right now, the build is probably somewhere around family, partnerships, and finances and things of that nature. So let me look and see what's going on in this 11 and 2. What does one need to stay tapped in and about today? Let's see. Alright, so you have the Queen of Wands up here. This is Aries energy. That is fire, water energy. You have Judgment up here, right? And when we're talking about Judgment, we are in the majors. And so there's a discussion here of which sign is that again for Judgment. Judgment is Scorpio energy. Alright, and then you have the Three of Coins. And you know what? I think I will do a call out on the Three of Coins, because the Three of Coins wants to continuously come out. So Aries, Venus energy, this Queen of Wands here, and the high energy can still be very intuitive, very warm, very passionate, full of ideas, full of love, right? Very warm. And so there may be some things that get resurrected, rebought up, renewed after a particular ending that may bring somebody into this Three of Coins of working together. There may be some working together. Now, if you're thinking about this, if you're into spirituality and it's 11 and 2, there may be a fire sign that's a little tapped in and maybe resurrecting some things and working together. Please stay in a higher frequency of this thing. Resurrect things, bring new energy, bring good energy, work together to create good energy. All right, stay in the higher aspects of the 11 and 2, because in this middle frequency here, Aries, when you're dealing with the sun, let's say, it's right at midday. Let's say that, okay, in the middle frequency, you're getting a little less light here, less clarity. 7 of Pentacles, yeah. Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot. So you got this Cancer energy that's coming up again when you're dealing with the Chariot, right? Now with this seven of coins here, right? This is after the learning to give and balance. This is a little bit of work, feeling like you're not getting much out of it. There's some things that's not clear about some finances with some Aries concerning money. Also, you could be dealing with the houses Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and then you have this Cancer energy that comes through, and that is even a discussion of motion and movement, but also about trying to maintain control. Okay, trying to keep control over whatever what you're trying to get done here. And so there may be not very much, not all of everything is not clear in the middle frequency when you're dealing with the sun. So this is why we're going to look at this 9 down here and see what's going on right here. Five of Wands, the Two of Swords in reverse, and then you have this Four of Coins here. So, you know, when you're dealing with this endings and regeneration and regrouping, the things that's coming down in this lower frequency is this petty, very petty, competitive kind of energy. Now, in this low frequency, when you have this Two of Swords in reverse, all right, the blindfolds are coming off. They're supposed to be coming off. This should happen in the change in the low frequency. There's some things that has to be looked back on. Okay, when you're dealing with this Four of Coins, some things that's being that may have been done or are being done away from other individuals. Okay, now what we're gonna do is look and see what's going on here in this low frequency of this Five of Wands. Okay, because this Five of Wands, this petty competitive energy. What are you competing about? What are you trying, what are you trying to have an individual stuck on? Okay. And even in the Four of Coins, there could be some stubbornness and isolation that takes place. This is the things that's not kind of changing. All right. Outside of that, you see this Four of Coins, you see this Ace of Coins, you see this Queen of Wands. If you are in the highest aspects of the 11 and 2, let's say, all right, what you're gonna understand here is that anything that you was doing in these lower vibrations to get into this position right here, that will it will come back up in the upper frequencies. Okay, so don't think that it won't. Okay, any petty shenanigans, fake competitive energy, bully kind of energy over the Ace of Coins here, all right, and it's gonna come out, and it's probably about it's probably some other people involved. Okay, so anyway, let's see what else is coming down. I'm gonna throw another card. Okay, and so it says the Oracle is a gift. So if you are a spiritual person, and this is not everybody, but if you're into spirituality and spiritual systems, then understand that your gift, that it is a gift and it's not to be misused or violated. Okay, so anyway, let's see what else goes on. Let's see what else is going on. Hey, my shuffling is not together today, y'all. Alrighty. So, let me see what's on the end of this Three of Coins right here. The Hierophant. Yeah, this could be somebody. This could be a spiritual situation, but this is also could be somebody in business dealing with a person with some authority and some power that's bringing up some things, working together. Trying to go to an elder or should go to an elder in this higher frequency. If you're in the higher frequency, remember, you're coming in as a warm, balanced energy, not too much confusion. Your water and your fire is together, right? And the things that you are trying to renew, you want to renew and work together and build with the elders and the spiritual. You do not want to be in the negative aspects of the 11 and 2 or misuse the 11 and 2, right? And so this is what this is saying right here. All right, so let me see what else is going on right here. And the sun is middle frequency, things that's not all the way clear. Okay, but also remember, when you're dealing with the sun, you're dealing with children, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with romance, you're dealing with creativity, right? You're dealing with new ideas, that kind of thing also. All right, up here goes the good old Emperor. And so, you have the Emperor up here, which is also validating this Aries energy, okay? At the end of this road here, the Emperor and the Hierophant is looking down this way. They both looking towards the left, okay? They're both looking at this Three of Coins. They're working together, the renewal and passion, love, things of that nature that could come in this 11 and 2. But the Emperor is down here looking at How can he get things under control, especially when it comes to finances, especially when it comes to working and getting things out of the situation? They're looking at this. Okay, so there may be some Aries out here that's focusing on these things right now. But let me see what's going on in this lower frequency right here. And this could be a masculine or a feminine. They just coming up in at the end in masculine energies, okay? So anyway, let's see what else is going on here in the lower frequencies. The Temperance. All right, so we got some Sagittarius, Jupiter kind of energy right here. Now, understand that this means that there is an imbalance taking place, okay? A selfishness or isolation or stubbornness that's taking place because of some things that has to be looked on in the past, which is creating some competitive, petty kind of energies, okay? That's in a lower frequency. So to get up out of there, you have to kind of go into this sun. It's not all the way clear how things are going to turn out. But in order to get this back in balance, is a little bit of work, right? A little bit of trying to manifest and harness the gift of the physical reality, getting it under control, maybe a little bit of movement in motion. All right, and you got this Emperor, and the Emperor sometimes can represent, you know, businesses, companies, corporations, authorities, but we're talking about overall energy for Aries and Venus. All right, so let's look and see what this oracle as a gift thing is, okay? Because there may be some Aries here looking or looking to go seek guidance in reference to finances and relationships and things of that nature. So that may be coming up. And let not one manipulate in the wrong way, okay? But let's see. So you got this Queen of Cups energy here. This is double water sign energy. You also have the Four of Swords here. And you also have the Ace of Swords here. So this is talking about all the air houses, okay? And the Four of Swords is about falling back, relaxing, chilling. This oracle, okay, with this Queen of Cups, this is a discussion of an Aries that may have some water in a sign, okay? Or in reference, or going to an oracle, or going to somebody with some authority or some additional knowledge and information in reference to a Queen of Cups energy, okay, that may have been falling back. But this sometimes gets discussed, you know, the need to be by oneself, meditate, rest, right? The Ace of Swords, communication, okay, is a gift of communication. Let me see what else is coming down with this. And that's speaking about even in the houses of Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, okay? But let's see what else is going on here. Real quick. Alright, so, you know, the thing that's interesting about this situation here is that you're looking at this Four of Swords here, the fallback, to get your thoughts collected, the meditation, that kind of thing, isolation after, you know, before the fight, okay? This is before the Five of Swords. But also understand that, again, it could be a discussion and conversation and communication of, you know, somebody who needs to rest, who may not be feeling very well, okay? Also, you have this Six of Coins here. And the Six of Coins is about imbalance and giving imbalance and taking imbalance. Is things in balance? Somebody may be going to communicate with someone else outside of the situation, trying to figure these things out. And that's okay, as long as there's no manipulation and violation involved, okay? So what needs to get balanced out here? Because I'm looking at this water, okay? And, you know, if water is poured evenly, you will get growth. But again, if it's too much water involved, when you're dealing with this earth energy here, you'll get mud. When you're dealing with fire signs and you're dealing with the fact that Venus is under earth and air, all right? Too much fire will scorch the earth, right? And it's just that simple, right? And then, you know, dealing with air, you either blowing the fire out or you're spreading the fire. It's just that simple, okay? So let me see what's going on over here with this water energy. Oops. So you got the Knight of Coins here. You also have the Fool here. And you also have the Hermit here. So in this water energy, opportunities, discussions, messages, and in reference to money, new opportunities, okay, that may be coming out. If you pay attention in this particular deck, the Fool is facing the Hermit, okay? So even on this new path and journey, yes, it does come with warning, okay? But you're going to see a duality that takes place here with this Fool. The Fool is in the beginning of the deck, and, you know, he's starting his journey. This is getting into it on a deeper level, okay? But behind that, with this little bag, okay, you see this Knight of Coins communicating. There's some communication, discussion in reference to finances, the physical reality, things of that nature. And outside of that, in all fairness, let's look at the Knight real quick. The Knight is talking about, you know, 20 degrees of Aries, 20 degrees of Taurus energy, okay? So pay attention to your Taurus house, Aries. Even though the card is set as sign is Virgo, okay? So that's telling you pay attention to your Mercury, pay attention to your first house, and pay attention to your second house, okay? And then when you're dealing with this Fool energy up here, in the beginning, this Aquarius air energy to Uranus, all right? So you still have to pay attention to your friends and social circles on your journey, okay? Along your journey. And then when you get into this Hermit energy, okay, you're still dealing with Virgo and Earth sign Mercury, okay? So you still have to pay attention to these houses on a deeper level, 11 and 2, okay? Aries, what are you rehashing up? What are you trying to resurrect? In a higher frequency, you coming through with new ideas, new energy, all of that good stuff. Emotions and actions is in balance, and there's a renewal, and you're working together to build something or to create something or to manifest something great with other individuals, with maybe the guidance of an elder, if you're in a higher aspect of the 11 and 2, and that's what you're going to do with your tap-in, right? But in this middle frequency, there still may be things for some Aries that's not very clear. They may feel like they do, you know, they do the most and don't get a lot out of it. When it comes to finances and things of that, and materials and things of that nature, things that need to get under control, maybe even, you know, wanting to do a little bit of travel, but you still have this systematic energy here, this Emperor, this Aries energy, okay, that one may run into, okay, that's looking at the whole situation, and so is this Hierophant energy, and, you know, it still can be different dimensions and vibrations of the actual Aries, okay? But the most important thing is don't be petty, don't get stuck, don't be too overly stubborn, and don't get out of balance, okay? Temperance is saying that the change is to get into balance, to reconnect, to build, to take the blindfolds off a little bit, but let go of past issues, and not to be petty, okay? Over here in this water, it's talking about the emotions, emotional connections and communications and discussions, talking about money and how money is used, how finances is used, even in the physical reality, you know, a younger energy, one that sometimes could be a little bit reckless, right? And then you have your new journeys, opportunities, and this Hermit energy that comes through, asking you that even on your new journey, with the warnings, the things that you learn, you come into this Hermit energy and want to learn even more, okay? And this is that emotional connect that may come back in, that puts you in a position to reevaluate and want to reestablish your foundation in a particular way. Anyway, Aries, I'll see you on the next one. Smooches and deuces. Be good.